shadows fall, I'll be beside you whenever you call. When worries weigh heavy and fears take flight, I'll be your strength, guiding through the night. And when the days are dark and heavy on your heart, I'll be the voice to guide you through the dim. Strong walls may crumble, but within you've got the spark. Just turn the key, let light dissolve the grim. Did you think you were alone in your feelings? Strike a match, let your inner strength be seen. Welcome to all things serious. In the depths of your despair, where demons roam, I'll be the hand to hold. You're never alone. When storms rage fierce and winds blow strong, I'll be the shelter in your soul where you belong. Welcome to all things serious.
Welcome, everybody. How are we doing this fine Sunday evening? Well, for me, it's Sunday evening or Sunday night. So today's live is about chronic PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and what it is. So I see Michelle Johnson's here. Charlize here. I hope I pronounced that right. If I did pronounce it wrong, let me know. Aaron's here. Abigail Rose. Bart Robinson. How we doing? I hope everybody is had a wonderful weekend. I really do. Sammy G is in the house. Sammy G. Richie. Hope you're doing well, friend. Hope you're doing well. So we're going to talk about chronic PTSD. Let me see if I can send my link. All right. Is Aaron in the house? Is he active? Is he here? Because he's supposed to come up on panel and we're going to talk about chronic PTSD. I'm going to get to the medical terms. So, well, it's not chronic, it's complex. Let me correct myself. It's complex. I apologize. Give me just a second, Michelle. All right. Let's see. Michelle Johnson wants me to cam up. Can you guys see me? Oh boy, I gotta adjust this. There we go. There we go. I cammed up for a little bit. All right, so complex PTSD is a mental health condition that can develop after experience chronic trauma, such as childhood abuse, domestic violence, or war. Symptoms include emotional difficulties, difficulty controlling emotions, heightened emotional responses, or feeling very angry or distrustful. Relationship problems. Having trouble keeping friends and partners or feeling like nobody can understand what happened to you. Negative self-perception. Feeling worthless, ashamed, or permanently damaged. Physical symptoms. Headaches, dizziness, chest pain, stomach aches, or unexplained upset stomach. Dissociative symptoms. Depersonalization or derealization. Hyperarousal, constantly being on alert or jittery, or having a hard time sleeping or concentrating. Flashbacks and nightmares. Experiencing flashbacks or nightmares. Avoiding situations related to the trauma. All right, Sammy G, have a good day at work. So CPTSD is closely related to PTSD and borderline personality disorder. However, the DSM-5 does not include CPTSD as a diagnosis, instead includes some of its symptoms and the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't have complex PTSD, I have PTSD. I also have bipolar. So and if you want to know what the difference between CPTSD and PTSD is, so post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychiatric disorder that can develop after a person experiences a traumatic event. Complex PTSD, also known as CPTSD, can result if a person has experienced prolonged or repeated trauma over months or years. A person with the condition may experience additional symptoms to those that define PTSD. All right, Aaron, I'm going to drop the link for you to come up on panel. And I would like to apologize to those. The reason why I was late, it's because I was having internet issues, like always. I can't wait until quantum fiber is out here. This 3 megabytes is not working. Megabits per second. Let me fix that. Megabits. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, ATS? How are you, bro?
Doing all right, brother. I'm doing all right. So earlier we were
Good.
talking.
It's always good to hear.
Earlier today, huh?
Go ahead.
Are you still driving?
Yeah, I'll be home in about 5 minutes.
All right. I'll talk to the community while you get home. You just hang on. So I did an afternoon live. And I mentioned this talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And Aaron happened to be in chat right before he got ready for work, and he says, I deal with this every day. And usually I have women come up on panel and discuss their situations. But today I have a guest, and we don't normally hear from men, except for me. You know, but the thing is I don't have all these medical terms. These I have a handful. That's about it. So it's good to once in a while hear from a male perspective. It's important for us to hear from both, actually, and we do, but we don't hear from enough men that go through these things, and that's the reason why I'm changing it up a little bit to get both up here, one at a time. You know, so we can get an understanding and break the stigma.
Indeed, that stigma sucks, man.
It does. Outlaw, what's going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. So I like I was telling everybody, next year I'm looking at some camera equipment where I can and I'm also going to be looking for somebody to help me hold a camera, because I want to go out to the streets and just talk to people about mental health. Go into certain towns, like going to like small cities, and just start walking downtown and just walk up to people and ask them their opinion on mental health. That's what I want to, start doing a little bit of.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes. I just got to get the community on board. So see what happens.
I'll be home in 3 minutes.
All right, brother. So Sammy G said, there are more men suffering with this than most people realize. That is so true. You know, it's just that when it comes to a lot of trauma,
There's reality. Sorry, man.
when it comes to trauma, us men don't really talk about it at all. We bottle it up, and sometimes we do things that make us end up in prison or in the graveyard instead of getting help and talking about it.
Very, very sad fact.
Or we turn to substance abuse.
Indeed. I've been there.
So, but once Aaron gets into his house, then I'm going to give him the floor to share his story uninterrupted. I'm just going to let him speak, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good to me. About another
Okay.
minute and a half, I'll be home. Then I'll jump on my
All right,
laptop.
brother.
But I'm gonna jump down
All
for
right.
now. But yeah, I'll be back in about a minute.
All right. We could do that. I'm still working on I need a good day for members only live. I need a good day for it. I really need a good day to do members only lives. So I'm going to do a community post tomorrow for members only to let me know what would be a good day to do members only lives. right, so I'm going to post his channel. So it's in the link in chat. That's Aaron's channel. Get to know _stop. So Sammy G says many don't realize it is what they're dealing with till they find themselves being overwhelmed by the floodgates bursting open to them. That is so true. Okay. I can relate to that very well, Sammy G. The floodgates of terror and emotions. Yes. I can totally relate to that. What I experienced when Pandora's box opened up almost 14 years ago, when all the memories started coming back, it was just a flood of them. I was reliving them over and over again. I remember those days too well. April T, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I'm waiting for somebody to get home in their driveway, and I got a special guest coming up on panel. He's been on panel before, but we're actually talking about complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So, how was your day today, April T? All right. There you go, brother.
What's up, man?
You sound better.
Yeah, my phone's kind of a piece of crap for it being brand new.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I put your link in chat to your channel.
Okay.
I'm sorry to hear that, April T. I'm sorry. I hope it gets better by the end of this live. Just saying. Try to make some humor into it after we're done talking about something serious. Okay. So, everybody, welcome in, get to know _stop. He's going to talk about his experience with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Talking about personality. It does give you a personality. It does.
Yeah,
It
most
does.
certainly does.
So, but everybody, I'm going to give the floor to him so he can share his story. Go ahead.
All right. Well, nice to be here. Thanks for letting me come up and have a discussion with you. But a little bit of a backstory for those who don't know me. But I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. The summer I turned 5, I don't remember if it started before I was 5 or right after I turned 5, but my dad's best friend cousin started sexually abusing me, and it continued on until this summer I turned 12, until I started growing pubic hair. We're talking full penetration, oral. I mean, it was pretty bad. So with that, years down the road comes a slew of mental health disorders and struggles that come along with what happens to somebody when they get sexually abused as a child. So I've been diagnosed with CPTSD, dissociative identity disorder, bipolar, agoraphobia, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar, chronic depression. When I first got on medication, I started on 19 different medications. I'm down to 6 now, so I'm doing a lot better. But the thing about it is when it comes to this kind of stuff, the downfall that comes along with being a victim of this, it's something that's unknown, because we never know how somebody's going to react. Some people don't, it doesn't affect their lives that much at all, and some people it totally destroys their life. I've been on both sides of that fence. The thing with CPTSD is I have a fear, in a way, I guess you could say, of this happening again. I relive the memories I do have of it happening every day of my life. It's just it's a son of a bitch to live with. And these perpetrators that do this, they don't think about any of that shit. I do come with a trigger warning, just so you know. I have a mouth of a sailor. That would make a sailor say damn. So I do my best to curb it, but I'm not perfect at it. So I just have a colorful vocabulary. So I don't look at them as swear words. I look at them as sentence enhancers. So you're right. Always on guard. It's always there. Yes, it is. And the uncomfortability of it is horrible. It's horrible. So the best way I could explain it is think of all the problems, all the trauma, having it impacting you every single day. How do you cope on a daily basis? I smoke a lot of weed, medication. I'm in therapy. A psychiatrist. What's that?
Your family support.
My family is a huge instrument in me being able to cope from day to day, and the work that I do on my channel and in my community really helps. Just knowing that the message of what I put out there is reaching people and making a difference, it really helps. So I've got antisocial anxiety disorder as well. Extreme anxiety. I take Valium every day. Well, for the most part, I did anyway, but I don't anymore.
We're not going to talk about the drugs we take.
Okay.
Because we don't want to promote it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But other than that, you're good. I got tears running down my eyes.
Well, I'm not trying to make anybody cry or
anything.
No,
it's not. You know, you're a strong person to share what you're sharing.
But I worked up a little bit of a presentation, more like an oral report on CPTSD, its effects on people, and just some different things. So I'm just going to cruise through that real quick, and then we go from there, I guess. Ask your questions, and I'm an open book on YouTube. I know you shouldn't be. Most people shouldn't. Most people aren't, but I am. If you want to know something, ask me. I'll tell you the truth. I don't care what it is. I'll tell you the truth. And so anyway, yeah. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder is a severe mental health condition resulting from prolonged exposure to traumatic events, often during crucial developmental periods. It is distinct from PTSD due to its chronic nature and the additional symptoms related to disturbances in self-organization. And when it comes to organizational skills, I don't have them. I'm the most unorganized person in the world. I swear. CPTSD was first proposed by Dr. Judith Herman in the late 1980s to address the limitations of the PTSD diagnosis. The International Classification of Disease, the ICD-11, now recognizes CPTSD as a separate diagnosis characterized by core symptoms of PTSD along with additional disturbances in self-organization, or DSO. CPTSD includes the core symptoms of PTSD: re-experiencing the trauma, intrusive memories, flashbacks, or nightmares. And I have very vivid, scary nightmares about this stuff. Some would call them night terrors. So there's that. Efforts to avoid reminders of the trauma, heightened anxiety, irritability, and difficult sleeping. I've had insomnia since I was 15 years old. Additionally, CPTSD involves disturbances in self-organization. Difficulty managing emotions, leading to intense feelings of sadness, anger, or fear. Negative self-concept, persistent feelings of worthlessness, guilt, or shame every single day. I feel these the exact same emotions every single day of my life. It doesn't matter how successful I am that day. It doesn't matter what I've accomplished that day. I still feel worthless and guilt. And I should have done more. I could have done more. And it's just horrible. Interpersonal difficulties, challenges in forming and maintaining relationships, often due to mistrust or fear of intimacy. Prevalence and statistics, okay? Studies suggest that CPTSD is prevalent among populations exposed to prolonged trauma. For instance, a study in the UK found that approximately 0.6% of the general population met the criteria for CPTSD. Women are more likely to develop CPTSD than men, with some studies indicating that women are twice as likely to be diagnosed. Individuals with a history of child abuse or neglect are at a significant higher risk of developing CPTSD. Research indicates that up to 50% of individuals with a history of childhood abuse may develop CPTSD. What causes and what risk factors are there of CPTSD? CPTSD typically results from prolonged exposure to traumatic situations, such as childhood abuse or neglect, physical, emotional, or sexual abuse by caregivers, domestic violence, long-term exposure to intimate partner violence, captivity or torture, experiences of being held captive, such as a prisoner of war or victims of human trafficking can experience this. Risk factors includes the severity, duration, and early onset of trauma, as well as a lack of supportive relationships during and after the traumatic events. The diagnosis of CPTSD involves a comprehensive assessment, often using tools like the International Trauma Questionnaire, the ITQ, which evaluates both PTSD and DSO symptoms. Clinicians look at the presence of PTSD symptoms along with significant disturbances in emotional regulation, self-perception, and interpersonal relationships. Effective treatment for CPTSD often requires a multifaceted approach, including psychological therapy, trauma-forced therapies such as eye movement desensitization, and reprocessing or EDMR, cognitive behavioral therapy, CPD or CBT, and dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, and I love DBT. At my counseling center, I've taken DBT like 7 or 8 times now. Every time I've taken it, I've learned something new, and it's amazing. DBT are commonly used. CPTSD is a complex and multifaceted disorder that requires a nuanced understanding and approach to treatment. Awareness and education about CPTSD are crucial for providing effective support and care to those affected by prolonged trauma. See, the thing that happens when a child gets abused, whether it be physically or sexually, by somebody they trust, they develop all kinds of issues later on in life. Unfortunately, the victimizers that do this shit don't think about any of that stuff. They don't care. They never have, and they probably never will. They're just in it for themselves and what they want. That urge for satisfaction and gratification, I guess it becomes overwhelming to them, and they got to do what they feel they got to do. How did you find a therapist that you could trust to help you? That's a good question. I went through a few. I kind of felt bad about it at first because I went through like 3 counselors within like a month and a half period of time. I was abused by a man, so I've never had a male counselor. I never will have a male counselor. I shopped around. I really did. I really did. I shopped around, and then I found one that I got that I felt like she was my last hope, really.
You guys have a very open.
We had a very open relationship, you could say. She had an understanding of me that I didn't even have an understanding of yet, and I found comfort in that. And I seen her for over almost 4 years. I started going 3 times a week, bounced back and forth from 3 times to 2 times to 3 times to 2 times a week, then 2 to 1, and then 2 to 1, and just up and down. It just depends, you know. And then she found a new job, and she actually told me that she was leaving her job as a counselor before she told her husband or anybody else. And about halfway through me meeting this counselor, she wanted me to do case management. So I got a case manager, became recommended by my counselor, and I trusted. If my counselor recommended it, I trusted her. After we found out that she was no longer going to be a counselor, my case manager at the time decided she was going to go to school and become a counselor. So throughout that transition, my case manager became my counselor, and now I have the world's most amazing counselor.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. And I know I can talk to her about anything I want, anytime I want, and sometimes I'll just sit there and not even say a word, you know. And trust me when I tell you, I'm not the easiest patient or client to have. Like I've screamed. My first counselor, the first female counselor that I had, the one that I had before I got now, I screamed in her face. I slammed the door in her face. And the next time I came in to see her, she was all, how are you? You know, a little bit rough last time. Let's see what we can do about it. You know. So my advice on that is, if you're a person that needs that, first of all, I think everybody should have a counselor. Whether you think you need one or not, everybody needs somebody that they can go to talk to whenever they want, once a week, twice a week, whenever they want, about anything they want, without a shadow of a doubt that they're going to be judged by this person. You know, I was not open to counseling. I didn't want to do it. And it came down to me not really having a choice. I was kind of forced into doing it. My wife said, look, you need to fix yourself or I'm gone. So I am currently fixing myself. Will I ever be fully mended? No, I won't. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't know if I'd ever want to be fully healed from it. I think if I ever became fully healed from it, I wouldn't have the passion I have to fight against it as much as I did. Finding out that there are certain diagnoses that I've had that'll never go away, that'll always be there. It's still difficult for me to handle. I'm not gonna lie. It's still a son of a bitch. I battle with no, it's about learning how to cope and navigate our lives. Exactly, Sammy. Absolutely. I struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I do. My brain gets scattered. So if I'm talking about one thing and I go to another thing, you just that's just how things work for me. So I don't remember what we were just talking about. For some reason it escaped me, so that's why I just started on to something else.
That's what happens to me, bro.
It's horrible.
I'll be
I hate it. It makes me so mad.
I'll be having a conversation and I'll totally forget what we're talking about and go on to another conversation. That happens to me quite often. And then I'll remember the conversation hours later and be like, hey, yeah, this was this. You know,
damn, that was such a good
conversation's
point.
already over with.
Yep. Happens to me quite often. You know, like I have certain little things that that get me triggered real quick. That'll bring back flashbacks and memories of the shit that I went through as a kid. And you were saying how important the guidance of a counselor is. Yes. Like you have to find a counselor. Like if a counselor is a good counselor, they're going to tell you from the very beginning, look, I don't expect this to be a lifelong thing with us, but it could be. Like, I don't expect you to settle with me because I'm the one that you were assigned with. Just because you were assigned a counselor doesn't mean you got to stay with that counselor. You got to shop around. You got to find one that you relate to. You got to find one that you can relate to, that you can see eye to eye with, that you have something in common with, and that trust factor has got to be there. It's absolutely vital, So don't settle for somebody you don't feel comfortable with. If you're in a counseling center and they don't want to give you another counselor, find a new one. There's plenty of them out there. They're always taking new clients. Just it's very important to be able to full on trust. And at the point in time that I got this counselor, the only person I really fully trusted was my wife. So, like,
I've had numerous counselors, right? Numerous. Because my problem is I get itchy feet and I move. What's going on, Megan L? Reality wins. So my problem is I'll get a really good counselor, but I won't be happy where I'm living and move and lose that counselor. And that was one of my flaws. Now where I live now is permanent. I'm not moving anywhere. So, but what's going on, Viperin? So now I'm looking for a new counselor, and I'm like you. I don't do male counselors, male doctors, male. Everything's got to be a female because I have a trust issue with men.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because my perpetrator was a man, so I have trust issues. You know, and every relation, and I'm going to be specifically honest, every relationship I've ever been in always had an issue with me having female friends. And I explained to them, I said, because they are more understanding than men, to be honest.
Like that's one thing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that one type of abuse between. I'm just going to say is like, I'm not saying one's any better or worse than the other, but
Yep.
from my view, I was raped and molested by a man. I'm a man. Okay. For me, that's harsh. That's way horrible. I've also been taken advantage of by a teacher, a female teacher, and that screws with me a little bit, but it's not as bad as me being molested and raped by a man. Because I don't know how else to say this. Besides, it always sounds messed up when I say it, but I don't mean it like this. But that's the only way I can convey it. When a girl gets molested by a man, at least it's male and female. You know what I mean? And I could only imagine. I've never met a female that has been molested or raped by another female before. I would like to hear their insight on that, if there is anybody out there that's like that. You know what I mean? But for a man to be, well, raped by another man as a child, it has a certain demeanor to it that really affects a man, I think. Would you agree? Would you agree with that? All things serious?
Yeah, because I've had both happen to me. I just don't I don't share the other part because I'm still confused.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I don't know what to think.
Right.
Like, I've never talked about it. Like,
and the reason you probably, and I'm just speculating here, but like, and probably the reason why you feel that you don't know how to feel about it is because it was obviously a female and you're a man. Which doesn't mean it's any less serious than any other kind of abuse.
correct.
But
It should have never happened in the first place.
Right. But even though it did happen, it seems a little bit more acceptable to a man to be taken advantage by a woman.
I will say this: as in our teenage years, well, I was preteen. It was just before I turned 13.
I was in 8th grade.
Okay. And I got taken advantage of by a woman, a grown ass woman. She was babysitting me. And like, I didn't know how to say something.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if I was going to be made fun of, or I didn't know, dude, or like, hear people say, dude, that's awesome, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not awesome.
High fives in the locker room with your boys. You know what I mean?
But really, that's not awesome because it really,
no, it's not. Exactly.
It affects your future relationships if you don't get it taken care of, if you don't get it treated. And that's probably the reason why I have problems with relationships, because of my thought process, man.
That's
okay.
Probably really, yeah. I get it.
I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist when I get one about it.
For sure.
Just gonna open up another whole past that I've never talked about.
Yeah. And the whole thing about the whole
Just
thing about it was
hearing your story, dude. Like certain things I can relate to.
Yeah.
Because I've been through it. But you went through it a longer period, and and you're here to talk about it.
Yeah. You know, because the sexual abuse, it caused me to have my first attempt in my own life at the age of 9, 11, 13, and 16.
And you're still here to talk about it.
And I'm still here to talk about it. And for any men that are out there, like, you're not alone. Even though you feel like you are, that's one of the bigger reasons why I do what I do. It's not easy by any means at all. It doesn't get any easier each time I tell my story. It doesn't get any better each time I tell my story. But it makes me feel better because I know that my message is going to reach somebody out there that's been struggling and carrying their secret and their story with them their entire life. And hopefully, whether they talk to me about it or tell their story to All Things Serious or anybody else, just letting somebody know that this happened to you makes a world of difference in who you fucking are. 100%. 100%. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed by. It's nothing to blame yourself for. You didn't do it to yourself. It's not you. It's the perpetrator that did this. And
yes, it's never you. It's not you. You. One thing you got to understand, and right now, for those people that hear this video afterwards, just understand it's not your fault.
Never.
It's not you. It's never your fault. Don't
see now.
And at first, you're going to blame yourself. You're going to blame yourself for it happening.
I did.
Okay, I did too. You're going to blame yourself. But once you get the help you need, they're going to tell you it's not your fault if they know what they're talking about. It's not your fault.
Exactly. Like, see, I told my parents, so the abuse stopped when I was 12 years old. I waited another 4.5 years before I told my parents that this shit happened to me. And to this day, I wish I wouldn't have told my parents, because I know that, because I seen the guilt and I seen the guilt that it put on them for not catching what happened to me. Huh? They blame themselves for what happened to me for happening to me. And I've told them multiple times, I'm like, I don't blame you guys whatsoever. You guys, like, it happens. It happens. Yeah, they had no clue that this was going on. If they would have this, if I would have had the courage at that age to come forward and say something, my dad would have stopped it instantaneously. My dad wouldn't be here right now. He'd probably still serving a life sentence in prison, but my dad would have stopped it. And I know that for sure. But telling somebody is huge. The moment you do, you're going to feel the weight of the world lifted off your shoulders. It might only be for a minute or a moment, but it feels so good. It feels so good just to get it out there, to let somebody know.
Like it's not a secret no more.
It's not a secret no more. And there's so many men and women that go to their grave not ever telling their story and not ever letting it be known. And nobody should ever have to carry that weight with them their entire lives. Sometimes it's about battling with the shame and dirty of violation. It keeps you from giving in to the very help we need. Absolutely.
I had that problem.
Sammy, my wife just said, she's like, I had that problem. Absolutely.
Dirty and shameful. And
yep.
Yuck.
blame myself, and and
Yeah.
it's just horrible. On
Definitely changes your life.
It does change your life forever. And like I had my innocence taken from me before I even knew what innocence was.
Yep.
And
Yep. Well, Aaron,
it's just messed up, man.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Took a lot of strength and courage to do that.
It does. It does.
Because I know I heard in your voice a little bit you almost choked up.
I held
And
it
then you
back.
caught yourself. Yeah, I
held
know.
it back.
I was like, I want to reach to this camera and give him a hug.
Oh. Well, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it, brother. And I bet you give some damn good hugs too, bro.
Oh yeah. The crazy thing is, right, is I used to not be a hugger, right?
Right.
And I got a job as a bouncer. And you know how when you meet the fellas, you give them a dap or, a quick handshake and you pull it in, you give half a hug.
Yeah.
I'm like, those are some weak hugs, right? So I give them a slap on the hand and reach over and grab them like a bear hug. You give them a huge hug and move on to the next person. And they're like, and then I had a dude come up to me 15 minutes after I gave him that hug. And he comes up to me. He's like, bro, I needed that hug.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he said that, I had tears coming out my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he was hurting. And that hug fixed whatever was making him hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks for the hug, Richie. I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it, man.
So I watched this what's up, Quick Vic? Kentucky Lee. So I watch this guy, he blindfolds himself and he'll hold a sign. He'll have a huge sign in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say free hugs for mental health. And people will walk up and give him a hug and share their story.
Oh yeah. People don't think about it, but that simple act of giving somebody a hug can really save somebody's life,
Just listening to them, let them talk.
Just hearing them out.
But this was a strong live. Very strong.
Look good.
But
look good.
I don't even want to go off the rails right now because usually at the end of my lives I go off the rails and I can't. Not with this one.
I could give you something. I could tell you something right now that'll help you go off the rails if that's what you want to do.
No, I don't. No.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I'm glad you have some humor. I'm glad you have some humor, brother.
You got to. Well, you don't have to, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps. For sure.
I just happened to meet you one day in another chat, and you came over to my channel, and then I came over to your channel, and we've been cordial ever since.
Yeah.
I won't forget the day I was telling you I was having to go live from my smartphone because my laptop wasn't working, and you were like, out of nowhere, you're like, I got a Chromebook for you, and I'm glad I didn't need. I'm glad I got my computer fixed.
Well, it's still just sitting here, not being used. So, if anybody else out there needs one, just hit me up. Let me know. I'm always down to share and shit. So,
Kentucky Lee, it's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. You're an hour late, so 7:30 your time. 7:30 your time. She's like, hold up. And it's just now 8:30. Did I hear wrong? uh, she's a darling.
Well, if you're gonna end this bad boy, I'm probably gonna go live here in a little bit anyway. But anyway,
if you guys want to go over to his channel and give him a sub up, and he's gonna go live shortly. You did, Viper? You did. I fixed my singing mic setup, I think. All right, let's find out. Let me drop the StreamYard link and let's see if you fixed it. April T said she subbed to you.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Vipering's awesome. Adosa Rose says, thanks for sharing your story.
Absolutely. Thanks for hearing my story. Thanks for hearing my story. I appreciate it.
A lot of people in this community, you can always catch the replay, Kentucky Lee. Make sure you got some tissues.
But I'm going to get on up out of here, Eddie.
All right, brother.
You stay big, you stay bad, and you stay beautiful, my friend.
All right. You too, brother.
All right, man. Laters.
I got Vibrant coming up. Let's see how his mic setup sounds. Let's see how it sounds. We'll find out if it's fixed. All right, here's Outlaw. Waiting for it to come up.
Yo.
It's connecting. What's going on, Outlaw?
What's going on, brother?
All right, Viper says I'm coming. Okay. So you were here for the whole live?
I got to catch part of it. I had to walk out for a second, so I caught a little bit of the end of it, and I caught the first of it. So, yeah, I caught
his story.
10, 20%.
Yeah, his story. Had tears coming down my eyes. Strong. So and the thing is, right, is there's a lot of us men who have experienced it that are afraid to talk about it because they're ashamed and they blame themselves. So, and I think once we do start talking about it and realizing that it wasn't our fault and we're not guilty, then we can start fixing ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, I'm just glad you keep coming around, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anytime, man.
Yeah. So, but I was trying to schedule this live at 4:30 this evening, so it was like out there so people could put their notification on, and it kept giving me an error. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to throw this internet box out the window. Oh, man. I wanted to just, it's round, and it would fly if I threw it.
Yeah.
It is. It's round.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Tell me about it. I've had days where I wanted to throw this laptop against the wall.
All right, here's Vipering. I'm waiting for it to load up Vipering. All right, there we go. Speak.
Good to see you, Richie. Everybody in chat. Good
Oh,
to
there
see
we
you.
go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Angels wants to hear you sing your love song for her.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so it's not fixed. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna drop you then.
Hold on. No, it's right here. Hold on. Okay, say something.
You got it now?
Oh yeah, I can hear. Okay, cool. So
Okay,
how does
good.
audio sound? This is my Shure SM7B.
Sounds good.
I'm using my old 2008 Tascam US 100 audio interface. I actually can adjust how loud the music is when I sing to a song or anything I have. So now I have it set up to where I can set the tone on that, or the depth of the loudness and all that crap. So yeah, I'm not gonna sing right now. No.
So you're not
No
gonna sing a
reason.
love song to Angels right now?
I don't sing love songs. I mean, I guess I could sing. I guess I could sing like a darker love song. Like I could do like a Stone Sour song, or something.
Oh my God, my friend. You know somebody in chat wants you to write them a love song.
Yeah, I know, but I can't do that. Sorry.
Oh,
Does this sound better than my other mic though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because this is the Shure SM7B. This is the most professional mic in the world. Okay.
You know what you sound like right now,
all that stuff.
Viprin?
I sound like the metal god.
You sound like a heartthrob.
Now, I think the only issue I'm gonna have is I think I'm not gonna be able to adjust. I don't know if you know that much about setting up mics and stuff, but when you set up a mic, you can set it up the threshold, right? The pull and the off. And I'm not going to be able to have that, I don't think, since I'm using this interface. I could have to download a digital mixer if I want to do that, and I don't know which one to use. I can look it up, but if I'm too loud, I have to get back from the mic and then get up to the mic, or if I whisper, I have to get closer to the mic. So I can't have that adjustment yet. But with the other interface that's not working with the SM7B for some reason, that one, dude, I could whisper like sitting back in my chair and you can still hear me. But then if I scream, you can't hear me. Or you can hear me at the same level. I'm not too loud and I don't clip. But
see, the only thing I can do is turn up my gain.
Well,
that's the only thing I can do.
Yeah, so the gain is a little bit different on a mic. Like, so gain is an important thing no matter what, but you have like the threshold for the cutoff and for it turning up, right, or turning on. That's a completely different thing with that. Also noise gate is another thing, which you have background noise, so you don't use a noise gate. But if you use the noise gate, if you have like an RTX video card, you can download what I use, which is really good for some reason, but you can download an RTX video card, NVIDIA video card. You can download the NVIDIA, what is it called again? Here, let me see. Oh, NVIDIA Broadcast. And you can actually test your mic on levels and test the background noise. That's why I can have a TV running in the background. You can't hear it. The only time you ever hear like people in the background and things in the background is if they're directly in front of the mic. So the cutoff, but yeah, gain is a big thing. But with the Shure SM7B, normally you have to use a cloud lifter, but I didn't have to use one for this little cheap interface here, which is shocking. Because the gain, you have to turn the gain way up with the SM7B.
I'm over here trying to talk to you, Viper, and I was muted the whole time.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
was
was wondering.
heated.
I was just talking and talking
Yeet.
and talking.
Yeah. I was like, I need to hit you up in Discord because I want to get a better mic setup
Uh-huh.
so I can, yeah, because hold on. All right. Because, hey, Kelsey, you still in here, Kelsey? You still in here, young lady?
Well,
Michelle Johnson.
I could do, I don't know. I need
Just
to, I
wait.
need to look at some more stuff, and I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna do some recordings and stuff, and see if I can get the levels correctly.
Yep.
Because I don't want to sing and be way over the music, or the music be way over me, and type stuff like that. I need to level it even. Like, I'm very precise, and I'll get pissed off, and I'll redo it over and over again until I get it perfect. So if I did it live, I would be so disappointed messing up. Like I used to do at karaoke all the time. I get too drunk and I can't sing properly, and I'm like, no, I get so mad. And
All
also, I
right.
can't headbang anymore. I used to have long hair, so I could headbang like crazy, but I can't do that stuff anymore. I don't have long hair anymore.
So I want to. So if I did a karaoke live stream, would you do it?
Oh, hell yeah! The reason why I got this set up is because that group you had me meet, the people that do music and stuff, the conspiracy people, like was it Chad Freeman? He does karaoke streams every now and then, and I want to get on there and kick some ass because
Yeah.
you want to be honest with you. Some of those singers are like they're flat, and they it sounds kind of like unprofessional in a way. So I kind of want to go there and just kick some ass. Because I can scream and sing, and I just want to do the metal stuff and scream and sing, and then stay in tune and like beat people in a competition if they ever did one. Dude, I miss headbanging. It's so different. I had to cut my hair off, and it's like headbanging just doesn't feel the same anymore. You don't feel cushioned. You got to have that long hair. Yeah, Angels. That's who I'm talking about. Yeah, like they do. They're flat a lot. They're out of tune, and it just.
They sound like me.
Well, and I hate to be that. I hate to be that way, but I've always been that way because I'm into music beats and stuff. So I'll sit there and I'll count in my head, or tap my finger and count, and I'll notice the drummer's off and he's off beat, and then I'll like the singer will crack or go flat, and I'm like, oh shit, you're flat or too sharp and stuff like that. So I always point out all these mistakes. I do even when I went to a Slipknot concert, I did the same thing. So it's just my thing, I guess. But yeah, so this is my new singing mic setup, and I actually have a way to switch it to where I can go into I can go to the Blue, and I could go back. Now, here's another thing too. So my Blue Yeti, I love my Blue Yeti. Blue Yeti is actually really good. If you want to get something cheaper and stuff. I was watching YouTube videos, and there was probably like 8 videos I was watching. And
All right, Richie. All right, Richie. You have a good day. Thank you for joining us.
See you later. I noticed out of the 8, 3 of the people were using a Blue Yeti mic, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And the mute button was in the back of the mic, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" And that's 3 people, and I was like, I thought the front was where the logo is, because I like to do, the instead of omnidirectional, I do the dynamic, and which if you don't know what that is, omnidirectional is all around. Dynamics like kind of a cone in the front, and so I was like, oh, dude, okay, I got to do some research. So I did some research. Turns out that all of them are using the mic wrong, unless they're doing omnidirectional. And if they're doing omnidirectional, it's really weird because you don't get the full sound, but that just makes all the sound around the mic pick up. So like slamming something down on the desk, and somebody walks in talking from the side, even if you have background suppressor, it's gonna still pick up the noise. So anyways, Blue Yeti is if you can get the Yeti caster set up, which is the boom arm. You get the arm, you get the shock mount, and then you get the Blue Yeti. It's about $130 or something like that. You can find it on sale too for Black Friday. That'll be a good way to do it, especially at Best Buy. You can get it for Black Friday, but that's a good setup. The only thing you'll need is a desk to put the arm on. Then you won't pick up if you slam on the desk. It won't pick it up because you have your shock mount. If you're bouncing your feet, if you're like one of those people with ADD that bounce their feet a lot, it won't come back on the mic.
Yep.
Because I do that a lot. I bounce my feet all the time, or I tap my foot to a song or something. People can't hear it.
All right. Well, now we know everything works.
Yes, I just need to get the levels of playing a karaoke song and singing to it, which I have a karaoke software. I just need to pay monthly for, full songs. But
so I'll think of picking a day during the week to do karaoke.
Okay, cool.
And we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna end the live now. I'm getting tired. I haven't been
just
sleeping.
be sure to go outside and make sure you don't have any drones around your house, the alien drone.
Yeah, I'm going to go check. So I'm gonna go outside and check. So thank you for coming up, Viper.
Yeah, no problem.
And gracing
guys,
us
have a nice
with
day.
You.
Pray to the rock gods.
All right, Outlaw, we're gonna head out. So thank you everybody for being here. Angels, Dose of Rose, April T, Michelle Johnson, Reality, everybody, Sammy G, Kentucky Lee. All right, all my friends, Richie, you guys have a good night. And I will catch you guys later. With that being said, All Things Serious is out, my friends.
Let's talk about the mind for a minute. The kind of battles fought, you don't just win it. It's a war zone inside, no camouflage. Every thought's a grenade, sitting ready to barrage. Growing up, they said man up, but never speak up. So I bottled it all, like a shaking soda cup. Pressure building inside, I could feel it crack. But the world outside only sees the mask, not the fact. Depression knocking at the door, anxiety's my guest. They invited themselves in, now I'm under duress. But mental health ain't a weakness, it's the strength to own. Every scar, every fear, every struggle we've honed.